Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's preview, as the Stormers welcome the Sharks to the DHL Stadium in Cape Town a week after their 22-all draw in Durban. And in many ways, I think the Stormers will be looking probably for a victory almost, because I think that the amount of confidence that they would have taken out of the fact that they beat the Bulls away, they then drew to the Sharks at home, and now they finally get to play on home soil. I think this will be a Stormers side that are full of confidence and will back themselves to be able to get a result against what is a very good Sharks side. And if you look at the teams, not too many changes for either side. For the Sharks, they're swapping one international for another. In terms of the changes they made in the back line, for the Stormers, it's a big start in the form of GELANT at full back. But before we look at the teams, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Looking at the two teams for tomorrow, this is how the Stormers will line up. Brock Harris has come into the starting front row, which had to happen after Sazi Sunday was absolutely decimated by Oxen Chair last weekend. However, I am quite glad to see that they've kept Sazi Sunday in the 23, because I think when you have a game like that where you are completely outclassed by somebody who in theory should be outclassed you as the Springbok starting loosehead, but maybe not to that sort of extent, in terms of confidence, you've got to try and keep him around. You've got to say, listen, you had a bad day, let's give you another chance next week. Because if you then drop him completely out of the 23, for a youngster, that can be not a career ending, but it can become a major sort of mental thing to try and overcome. So I'm glad that they've stuck with him. But Stephen Kitshoff, Gary Ntibeni, Brock Harris, you expect to be a lot more solid against the likes of Oxenchair, Thomas Toy, and Bongi Manambi, especially with the likes of RJ Smith and Marvin Oye behind them, bringing quite a lot of weight and power to that front row. And then the loose trio is the same as last week. Deon Fourie, Ernst van Rijn, Hachiwa Daimani. I was quite impressed with Ernst van Rijn's work with last week. He gets a lot done. I think he probably needs to work on being a bit more sort of impactful, but he does a lot of the hard yards. Deon Fourie last weekend very much sort of flouted around with the law a little bit. Did get a yellow card. Did get penalised quite a lot. I think he'll be frustrated by the manner in which he got penalised, but just needs to be a bit careful about that this weekend. Herschel Yankees continues his partnership with Moni Liebach, who was very impressive against the Bulls, but wasn't quite his usual self last weekend. And that kind of happens with players like him, who like to try things, who like to be positive, who like to be creative. It doesn't always come off. The only other change in the backline is the start of GELANT. If we look elsewhere, Sinatla and Angelo Davis continue to be the wings, and Dan du Plessis will continue to start in place of the injured Rick Pretorius, who are now outside him. I personally would have gone Damian Williams at inside centre. I think that the Stormers centres have been pretty average for the last few games. And I think that there was an opportunity here to give Damian Williamson a chance at 12 and see what he can do. Damian Williamson needs to play as much rugby as he can, because that's the problem he's had at the moment. He's not getting enough rugby. So to get to 2 starts and then suddenly on the bench, we need him playing as much as we can. But the Storm is very much adamant that Andrew Busia and Ruan now will be their centre pairing. But good to see GELANT starting at full back. I understand the concept of impact players, and I think that we do need to be more open-minded about it. But a player like him, who influences the game on almost every single touch, if you want to win a game, you've got to give yourselves the best chance and make sure he plays as many minutes as possible, because he really is a game changer. Off the bench, Andrew Hugo Venter, Leon Lyons, Sazi Sunday is a young front row. They'll be up against a younger front row as well, which I think will be more sort of suited in the last stages of the game. And they've got the 6-2 split of Ben Jason Dixon, Marcel Tennyson, and Nama Klaba as the forwards, and then Paul de Vet, Damian Willemse. Obviously, you can go the 6-2 split with Damian Willemse, given the fact that he can cover inside centre, 10, 15, and the wing, where he scored a try last week. We look at the Sharks, very similar sides, same front row of Oxenchair, Bongi Manambi, Thomas Toy, who absolutely demolished that Stormers front row. Hiron Andrews, Ruben van Heerden, I thought were pretty impressive in the locks, and then a loose trio of Sia Khaleesi, Jean-Jay Labaskachny, and Pepsi Buthelezi. However, we are seeing a new halfback combination. Jaden Henderson starts for the first time in a rugby match since he got injured against Argentina down in Gqeberha in August last year. And he is next to the Argentina international Tito Bonilla, who comes in ahead of Boeta Chamberlain, who I thought was pretty disappointing last weekend. Elsewhere, Maxiloma Pimpi, Spur Nkosi, Apele Fassi will continue to be the outside backs, but Lakanya Ama shifted inside to inside centre after the injury to Ben Tapuai, and as a result, Jamie Ward has come into outside centre. I don't really like Lakanya Ahmed inside centre. I think he's much better outside centre, but I think this is a needs-must situation, and I think, he's such a good player, he can pretty much play anyway. On the bench, Kevin Fury, Tsukon Kuno, and Kutan Kuno are the two, the front row. Then you've got Gabran Grobler and Henko Venter covering the rest of the scrum. I was quite impressed with Gabran Grobler last year during those couple of URC rounds. And then you've got Grant Williams, Boeta Chamberlain, and Werner Koch as the replacement backs. I think Grant Williams is looking pretty good. Buda Chamberlain's been sort of hot and cold. Bernard Cox, the jury's still out on him, isn't it, in terms of whether he will ever make it in the 15s game, whether he's good enough, where his best position is, and what we can expect to see from him in the future. Let me know what your score predictions are down in the comments below. Smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you soon.